If you're of a certain age, you may remember the commercial, Avoid the Noid. It's probably been decades since you thought of it, but I want to hit the Wayback Machine to the late 80s and tell you why a canceled marketing campaign is so relevant today. Hey, Colin, receiver here, and welcome to the Saturday, March 14th edition of the Patient Attraction Podcast. I came across a really interesting article about Domino's Pizza and its abandoned marketing villain, the Noid. Here's the gist. Back in 1986, Domino's Pizza introduced its 30-minute delivery guarantee. If your pizza got there in more than 30 minutes, pizza was free. And to illustrate this, the company used a little character with buck teeth, rabbit ears, and a big nose, and it called it the Noid, as in annoyed. You might remember the Noid was huge. There were toys, games, and all kinds of commercials featuring the character. Domino's had created a cultural sensation similar to Progressive's Flow that's so popular now. The Geico Gecko or Caveman more recently, or Spuds McKenzie if you remember that little dog from back in the day. Then, in 1989, something out of the company's control put the brakes on that successful campaign. A 22-year-old man named Kenneth Noid took two Domino's employees hostage with a gun. Now, the two employees escaped and Noid was arrested. Noid was later found to be a paranoid schizophrenic and found not guilty by reason of insanity. See, Noid suffered this delusion that he and Domino's had some dispute and the Noid commercials were directed at him. In 1995, Noid, the man, committed suicide, still believing the Domino's campaign was aimed right at him. And that's when Domino's stopped using the Noid character. And this is what I want to ask you. Was Domino's right to stop using the character? Let's assume that Domino's pulled the character because of the man's death. Should it have ended the campaign? On one hand, the PR was terrible and it may have come across as unfeeling to continue the campaign after a sick man took his own life because of it. On the other hand, this was one crazy guy who reacted badly to a campaign that resonated with tens of millions of people. I'd love to have your thoughts. In fact, if you viewed this podcast on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or on our company website, please leave a comment below. If you got it via email or through iTunes, send me a reply, colin@smartboxwebmarketing.com. I'll share some of the responses and give you my opinion in a future podcast. Until then, keep moving forward.